فأقم وجهك للدين حنيفا فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها لا تبديل لخلق الله.
In recent years, we have all witnessed how Western nations have been opening up to grant what they call freedoms and rights to a group and a community known as the LGBT community. And so along with these rights have come a major push to normalize their way of life and their particular lifestyle. Passing legislation to allow same-gender marriages. Not only that, but also to introduce propaganda in school curriculums to normalize that community's lifestyle. Not only that, but to force others in society, and especially our children in the school system, to force them to accept that lifestyle as being normal, and to accept those values as being something completely normal and acceptable to us. And so what has made matters worse is that in the Muslim community recently, as recent as a few weeks ago, there has been a vicious campaign launched by a group from that community who portray themselves as Muslims, who claim that they are Muslims and also from that community. And so they have launched a vicious campaign aimed at reaching out to our children, to tell them that, look, we are Muslims just like you. We have accepted this lifestyle as being normal, and Islam has no issues with it, and so neither should you. And so what we have seen is that they have portrayed Muslim girls in hijab supporting their cause, to make it seem completely normal that you could be a Muslim praying 5 times a day, fasting the month of Ramadan, believing in what you believe as a Muslim, wearing your hijab, and accepting this lifestyle as being completely normal. And so they have taken advantage of school board policies in which school boards have made this month of June to be a month to celebrate Pride Month, making students to take part in activities aimed at educating the students of what they refer to as diversity and inclusion of people who identify themselves with that LGBT community. And so not only are students encouraged to take part in those activities, but what makes matters worse is what we are hearing, that no student is allowed to opt out. No student is allowed to excuse themselves from such activities. And so, my dear brothers and sisters, the question is, what should be our stance? How should we Muslims be responding to this vicious campaign? And so we say, first and foremost, we must realize the danger. We must realize the danger of remaining silent and not pushing back, remaining passive, thinking that this doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect my children. And so although you may be safe, you may be upon the fitrah, your children may be upon the fitrah, but what guarantee do you have that your children in the future will not look at this as being something abnormal. They will start accepting it. What guarantee do you have that their children will find it to be completely normal to identify themselves with such a lifestyle? It was only a generation or two ago that in this society, certain practices were looked at as being frowned upon. And today they are looked at as being completely acceptable. And that anyone who opposes it should be frowned upon, should be denounced. Second, we need to educate our children at home. We need to educate them with values and morals that are in line with our Islamic values and morals. Something that is in line with the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the words of His Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. We need to instill these values in our children from a very, very young age so that they are not trapped in the trap of shaitan when they grow up. Thirdly, yes, a Muslim can be a Muslim while having certain urges and inclinations which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has forbidden. And so a Muslim can be a Muslim while having certain tendencies, while following his desires, his pleasures, his lusts. A Muslim can be a Muslim while committing major sins such as zina, drinking alcohol, and other major sins, as long as he recognizes that these are sins. These are things that Allah has forbidden, Allah has prohibited, as long as he accepts that what he is doing is wrong, and he turns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in repentance, and then he combats against these urges and these inclinations, and he understands that my freedoms end where the limits of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala begin. Fourthly, just because this is the stance of Islam on this issue, just because this is the position of Islam concerning the LGBT lifestyle, we need to make it clear, and we need to put it out there for the record, that in no way does this mean that we are calling for intolerance. In no way does this mean that we are encouraging our children to attack a particular group in society with hate or with insults or with bullying. We need to make it clear that if someone wants to adopt a certain lifestyle, go ahead. No one is stopping you, and we are not stopping you. We need to make this very, very clear out there, because this is one of the main reasons why many Muslims in the past several years have decided to remain silent on this issue. They're afraid that if we say something, we're going to get in trouble. No, we make it clear that we are not restricting anyone's freedom. Do what you want to do, but understand very well that what we will not tolerate is if you try to attribute that to Islam. If you come and try to justify a certain lifestyle which Islam opposes, and you try to justify it through Islam and say that Islam accepts it, and say that Islam has no problems with it, this is what we will not remain silent about. We will oppose. We will stand up for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because what you are doing is you are basically attributing to Allah what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never said. Fifthly, we need to send a clear message to the school boards that inclusion efforts and these initiatives to include one group in society, it should not result in Islam being reinterpreted and distorted, thereby undermining the religious values of a huge population of Muslim students in these school boards. And so our message to these school boards is very clear. Do not push us to accept values and teachings that go against the values and teachings of our deen. Because if you do so, then you are stripping our children of their right first and foremost, that has been given by Allah, and secondly, that has been given by the constitution of this country, to believe in what they want to believe, to follow whatever religion and whatever religious values that they want to follow. Sixthly, if you have children in the public school system, you need to form a group of parents to campaign against this vicious agenda that is being forced upon our children and the students, that they have to participate in these activities in the school system, and that they don't have a choice to opt out. We need to campaign against this and make it crystal clear that our children will not sit and participate in such activities. Finally, my dear brothers and sisters, now is the time to start reconsidering the future of our children. If you are parents who have children in the public school system, now is the time to reconsider their future education. This is only one of 100 problems that exist in these schools. And it's completely understandable that the alternative is not something easy. And so we have Islamic schools that are filled with many problems. But it is the better alternative. Not only that, but we also have another option, and that is homeschooling. The point is that we need to reconsider, do we want our children to be exposed to what they are being exposed to in the public school system? What have you done as a parent? Have you fulfilled your responsibility? When the Prophet ﷺ said, ألا كلكم راع وكلكم مسؤول عن رعيته, that every single one of you has a responsibility on his shoulders, and you will be questioned about your responsibility. And then he ﷺ mentioned the father, the parent. He is responsible for his household, and the mother is also responsible for her children, and each one will be questioned by Allah about their responsibility. How did they fulfill it? And so do not be that parent who comes when his child has become a teenager. And we have seen many cases of this. They come to the Imam saying, my son, he thinks he's a girl. My daughter, she thinks she's a boy. They're in all kinds of relationships. They have accepted that lifestyle. Come and counsel my children. Don't let it reach that stage. Do not let it reach that stage. You have a responsibility on your shoulders. Now is the time. Do not wait until it is too late.